Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the last post ceremony. My name is Matt Anderson, the Director of the Australian War Memorial, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Warrant Officer Class 1, Kim Owen. We will also be joined tonight by Piper Jen Hamer and our bugler, Sam Kennedy. We welcome the veterans who have served, those who are still serving, and the families who love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association, and we welcome their members watching online right across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the War Memorial. If you are able, I invite you now to please stand and join in singing the National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you. Those visitors who are able to be seated and wish to, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops at Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this National Memorial Museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. But it would also be a place where all Australians could come to understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed in the entrance to the galleries here of the War Memorial. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves have made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Walter Joseph Tilbee. Walter Tilbee was born in 1897 in Chilham in Kent, England. He was one of 12 children born to farm manager Frederick Thomas Tilbee and his wife Catherine. Walter received his education at the local public school before moving to Western Australia with his family when he was 14 years old. His father began working as a plasterer while the family settled in the Perth suburb of Midland Junction. At the outbreak of the First World War in 1914, Walter was working as a general labourer in the city. Walter Tilbee was among the first men in his region to volunteer for active service. He enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 10th of September 1914 and was assigned to the 12th Battalion with the rank of private. After completing a short period of training, he travelled to Fremantle, embarking on the troopship Medic in November 1914. Private Tilbee arrived in Egypt in early December. He and his comrades continued training and preparing to attack Turkish forces at the Dardanelles. In April 1915, the 12th Battalion set sail for Gallipoli, providing the covering force for the first waves of men who landed on Anzac Cove on the 25th of April. The 12th Battalion began landing at about 4 a.m, during which time it came under heavy fire as the troops moved from the troop ships to the boats. On landing, the men encountered heavy machine gun fire, which caused many casualties. As they tried to advance, they were drawn into heavy fighting, sustaining high losses until forced to withdraw to their defensive line, where they fought hard to repulse the enemy's counterattack. One of the men who landed described his experience. The stillness was oppressive, but was suddenly broken by a single shot away out on the left, followed by another away out to the right. Swiftly upon these rifle cracks came a veritable inferno of shots and shell which came from all directions. The Turks had 4 machine guns on the beach, and with these they raked the boats approaching, killing the occupants like dogs. As the light spread its rays and eventually streamed down the hills, it revealed a sight of terrible desolation and death. As they neared the beach, men jumped into the water, many carrying heavy equipment. Some fell dead the moment their feet touched the shore. Men were left in all directions, dying and bleeding. There was no help for it. Many men were torn to pieces by shell fire, while others, dismembered, lay crying for water. By the end of the day, the 12th Battalion had suffered almost 900 casualties. Among the missing was Private Walter Tilbee, who had vanished shortly after landing. Much to the growing anxiety of his family at home, Tilbee remained listed as missing in action for several months. It was not until 1916 that a court of inquiry ruled that Tilbee was likely killed in action during the landing on Gallipoli on the 25th of April 1915. The Tilbee family received the news just weeks after the loss of Walter's brothers, Charlie and George, who had been killed during the fighting around Pozières in 1916. The Midland Junction Camp Chronicle reported the family's loss, noting, "It seems almost unbelievable that sorrow should be so heaped on sorrow." Private Tilbee's final moments remained unknown, and his last resting place was never uncovered. Today, he is commemorated on the Lone Pine Memorial at Gallipoli, among almost 5,000 others who have no known grave. Walter Tilbee was 18 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Walter Joseph Tilbee, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his final moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they'll be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes tonight's last post ceremony. On behalf of the Council, my wonderful staff, volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today, and we wish you all a very pleasant evening and a Merry Christmas.